welcome back to part 2, artists. So now we're going to tackle how to get a little more complicated with this, right? So we've already established how to adjust the height with distance and even the width with distance, as we saw on the road here. So if, for example, as a quick review, we had like a little bunny in the road, right? Check out its width from left to right. If we run lines from the furthest left point to the furthest most right point to the vanishing lines, we're seeing how something of comparable size would get smaller, right? So if it was a here, or say up here, we could see how wide the little rabbit would be. And we could even double check the height, and I'll use red to do that, from the upmost ear to the bottommost foot. We could even see, its ear would be no taller than here, lining up with that red line, right? So you can check width and height. So say we got a person, a little bigger than the cactus, let's say, who's trying to hitch a ride. Who evidently has a really long torso. There we go. So let's say we got a little guy up here trying to hitch a ride. But somebody else down the road is also trying to find a good Samaritan and pick him up. How much smaller will he be in the distance? Well, remember how we dealt with the cacti. From the top of the head to the bottom of the feet, the tallest point and the lowest of the base, we run lines to the vanishing point, and we'll use red again to signify them. Okay. Topmost. And again, we can always use a ruler if we feel like, oh, it's dipping or curving, my lines aren't great. Bam. So if we wanted to put somebody here or here, that's how tall they're going to be, which makes sense, comparable to the cactus. That's not bad. But here's one of the advanced tricks. You can also make certain that everything else in their body is lining up too. If the person is more or less the same height as the other one, check their neckline. That's where their chin would be here. How about their waist? Signify the waist, then run a line to the vanishing point. There we go. Well, that's where their waist would be. And if we wanted to move them over, we know it's as simple as bringing horizontal lines over. Yo! Neck, torso, feet, done. And then we just get rid of the guides that we don't need anymore. And bam, we've now got a second person waiting on the side. Lastly, what if you got something really tall? Huh? Well, we could even have, say, a telephone pole, which we know is going to be really tall, much taller than a person, and probably past the parameters of our sketchbook. But that doesn't mean we can't logically conclude how they shrink in scale as they go into distance, because even off the sketchbook, we can create a fixed point. Say we know our telephone pole is triple the height of a person. Off the sketchbook, I'm going to create my highest point and then move to the vanishing line and create that line, right? The base of my telephone pole to the vanishing point, bam. So if I was to put another telephone pole here, well, that's how tall it would be. And another one in the distance, well, that's how tall it would be. And each time, then I can go back in and add little bells and whistles, including the wires. Bring one to the next. All right? So still, regardless of how detailed or how tall things get, the logic prevails. Try it in your own and see what you come up with, and we'll field questions next class.